evolution of name analysis. In ancient times, the symbolic meanings of names was assumed part of the overall significance for people of most ancient cultures. A name was far more than simply the identifier. It was more truly essentially knowing of a person or named things. Choosing a name for a child was not taken lightly. It was a name that could necessarily to prove a source within a strength or weakness that an individual thought of her or his life. As an example of powerful influences, names in ancient cultures consider ancient Egyptian societies once was to be the very essence of a person's existence. In fact, according to the Egyptian beliefs, the name was a part of a person such as the body, the soul, or even the mind, spirituality, and also the individual. There was critical ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, there was a child that was named immediately at birth so that the coming into existence, the infant would be properly accomplished. The child without a name was almost a terrible thing to imagine as a child without a soul. A child that didn't have a name would have been like almost an abomination. And part of the importance of names was based on the theology of the Egyptians as well. According to one of the Egyptians' creation's myths of the god of the Faz, created the university of the pronouncing of the names of all things, and that very way of speaking names thoroughly to them in the existence. Some of the things that were immediately tied into being of the person's individual name and importance, the part of his or her ability and ability to strive, and also in this life and the next. For example, the important aspect of Egyptian funnery is the theology that is involved in the nightly reunions of the Ba, which is the loosely translated meaning of the personality or spirit. With the physical body of decreased, one question the Egyptians faced was the Ba, or to go in the body, were destroyed. The solution to provide a statue or likeness of a person to which the Ba could return. But anyone who has seen Egyptian statuary or statues might wonder why the Ba was a statue to return to. And the answer was simple: a statue would have a name or an individual carved into it. The name would effectively transform into lifeless image, into an appropriate nightly resting place for the Ba and the embodying and also the very essence of the person whose name was carved into it. And these are also artifacts that they would do this to. Replacing your name and her own or your own, the critical person to ensure the continuations of his or her name, because if it was entirely wiped out or forgotten, the distinct, terrifying possibility of he or her would simply cease to exist. Although in ancient cultures differed other specific views of the significance of names and their shared common perspectives, and the name was critically important part of whose was a person of choice or appropriate name of was also vitality or significance in ancient societies. That parent would often consult in oracles or religion authorities or in any assisting in any name befitting their child. And then if an oracle was not consulted, a parent might have shipped or even in exceptions parents have in the future achievements. Illustrations show that parents would pass down the power and significance of their names using prefixes such as son of or daughter of, and indicating the child would be expected to continue or even reinforce the glory of the parent's name. Religiously, customs also laid important parts of the name and conventions of many cultures. Children in pagan societies were also named after favorite family gods or as children, or in many different societies they were given to inspire religious sensibilities and awareness of the fact that there were only one God. For example, which means Aliyah, well, E-I or E-L-I-H-U, I believe it's spelled, which also means God or He is. The Elijah meaning is also God or Jehovah. So these names are not always essentially to truly understand a person, can also provide tremendous power over a person, especially in ancient religions, including the Israelites and the Egyptian religions. God or gods as many different names as which more powerful than others. Many names are hidden or secret and they were very rarely spoke of and were even pronounced. Speaking the names of appropriate accents and proper sound qualities and Vine being of where were only a selective few among royalty and priesthood, but because of their power inherited, the divine names of acknowledge the secret names of gods who are also a key element in the magical religious rites. But also knowing of various gods or even literally manipulate them to obtain favors or gifts or to guarantee the appropriate investment or a victory in battle. But the appropriate use of a name could be also the divine wrath of which of such an extent of the universe itself can be devastated and considered blasphemous and inappropriately utter the names of divinities. Symbolism of names are not also involved in the whole words of ancients, but in words produced by various textures and also various backgrounds and various spirituality backgrounds. Critical importance of the letters that even in a name, even using Kabbalah in the 12th century. Many ancient mystery traditions, especially Jewish people, according to the Kabbalah, teachings and various other, God created the universe and all that into the Hebrew alphabet, but in the Egyptians, then their gods, the universe had its own spoken word, and there's things that are just engraved in them. That's also where the runes come into play, and they kind of go back and forth really well, and it really brings the divine spirit into one's self. There's hundreds of letters in ancient languages and various types of things, and these are all very universal with the ruins. And one such collection of symbols that enjoyed a moderate resistance is the letters that are known in the ruins, and these came back from at least 200 BCE, which the ruins are widely used even today as an oracle or casting ruins. Became very popular in divination and divine work, and ancient symbols that even date back way. And even in Greece at 500 BC, they've used things like this. The Hebrew alphabet was considered to be very close even to in numerology, and the alphabetic system, such as the Greek Egyptians, and they obtained numerical correspondences that could be used to analyze hidden meanings in words and names, and people use languages, therefore, in very wide depths in their significance, combining divinations and consultings to many oracles or psychics around the world. This ancient prophecy and using names and how to determine things was just something that was very created in depth and self-knowledge of personalities and strengths and the natural result of being in tune with the energy of the names. By taking advantage of the power of one's name and avoiding its pitfall association with any weaknesses of the name, a person could literally shape his or her own life into true reflections of destiny, implied that the name thus live in greater harmony than the natural order of the universe.